with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. This is Kevin Harlan. It is great to have you with us. It's the Chicago Bulls and the Toronto Raptors. You look at the Raptors. They need the boost here from the hometown fans, trailing 2-0. It is critical for them to start to edge back into this series.
Yeah, tough start to this series, but you come home, you win one game, and that changes the momentum. And that has to be the focus here tonight. Just win one game in your building.
Yeah, it's basically do or die. There's no doubt about that. They can't be discouraged by the 2 losses. There's still plenty of time left in this series. The crowd isn't discouraged. We know that much. Just listen to them.
All fueled up and ready to go. Brought to you by Gatorade. Let's check out who's on the floor. So the Bulls 5 right now. Mr. Moves in at point guard. Inside at the 4 and 5 are Gasol and Noah. Then there's Jimmy Butler. And it's Mayo in at the 3, the small forward.
You know, regardless of who starts the break, it seems like he's usually the one to finish it.
And that's because of how well he attacks the rim on the dead run.
Now here's Patterson. Pass to Gardner. And there's the feed to Jordan. Good ball movement here by the Raptors. Clock at 6. Here's Ross. Chicago grabs the miss. They are really pleased with the victory on Monday.
And it seems odd to say, given that they won it pretty easily, but they didn't look especially strong that day.
Yeah, and if you were watching the game without the benefit of a scoreboard, you'd have thought it was a lot closer than it was.
Toronto with the ball after the made shot for Mr. Moves. Just over a minute and a half played here in this one. Here's Gardner. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in.
Well, the pick worked really well there. Nice job taking it right to the 10 for the layup.
Here's Mr. Moves. Banked in off the glass. Mr. Moves got his second bucket of the night.
Well, he's off to a good start, and he's a guy who we know. I mean, if he gets going early, he can give you problems all day.
Passes it to Gardner. Jordan with a screen on Butler. Gardner passes to Jordan. The pass to Ross. From past the arc. No good. And in Chicago the other way. And just under 2.5 minutes elapsed here in the first.
They're off and running. Good start here. They've knocked down 4 of their first 5.
Raptors trail by 4. And the foul called on Mr. Moves. That is his first foul of the game.
That's his first personal foul. First team foul.
Ross kicks to Patterson. Pass to Gardner. 4 on the clock. Here's Gallardo. And that's out of bounds. Toronto will retain possession. With the break in the action, let's see who are the league's best shooting teams during the regular season. The Bulls in second.
You know, this team had excellent numbers during the regular season, and I would not be surprised to see them heating up here in the postseason as well. They had a nice rhythm going as the regular season came to a close.
Patterson passes to Gardner. Patterson with it. He kicks it to Jordan. Back to Patterson. Lets the 3 fly. That's good.
There's a chance he could have a big game if they don't D him up more tightly on the perimeter.
For Chicago, they've gone 4 of 5 from the field so far. Butler on the way. Here's Mr. Moves. And they wasted no time getting those 3 points back. Mr. Moves got 9 points.
Such a great start for him. 4 for 4 already. He could be on his way to a big game.
It certainly looks that way, Steve. His energy level has been terrific right from the opening tip.
Now here's Ross. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. Kicks it to Gasol. And it's good. Pop through contact, hits the shot. He'll go to the free throw line.
They've been hot here early, dropping them in left and right.
Let's see how long they can keep it going. This is quite a start.
Both teams deciding to change it up. And
Nice shooting.
the throw good, Gasol. Chicago making a switch here. Feeds to Ross. On the wing, Green. Good on the triple. Green's got 5 points so far. On its way from Rose for 2. And we're shifting in this game 3. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Bulls?
Solid first quarter for this club. They came out strong, and they put together some nice momentum here.
Steve, I like the looks they've gotten on offense. A lot of good ones.
Taking a look at the Bulls. Mr. Moves, he's in at the point. Taj Gibson is out there with Festus Ezeli. Then there's Jimmy Butler. And it's Mayo in at the small forward. And Toronto has possession after the miss for Mr. Moves. Off the screen, and Green slams it in.
One of the oldest plays in basketball made that dunk possible.
That's right, a terrific screen right there, Steve. Allowed him to lose his man and rock it to the rim.
Well, don't you love to see players working together in that fundamental play? Fun to watch.
From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Hey, Kevin, Mr. Moves in that last game against the Raptors delivered quite a performance. He ended with 41 points, as he usually does, really knocking down shots from beyond the arc. Just numbers that really jump out at you in the box score.
Thanks, Doris, for revisiting what was an astounding performance, Clark.
It clearly was one of those games that when we look back on his career, this game would be right there among the best ever that he's played.
Well, he was in the zone from the outset. It was just one of those games where he was feeling it. Everything was going his way, and he attacked, and that's what I like. Once he knew it was his night, he just attacked relentlessly.
Patterson, he's checked in for Toronto. And Chicago also making a switch. Noah's checked in, and so he draws the foul on the shot, a trip to the line to shoot 2.
Well, at least the defender got his money's worth on that one.
Yep, that was an easy whistle for the officials.
All right, we'll take a look now at how the points have been generated so far. A scoring breakdown for the Bulls.
Well, I like the fact they've already been getting a lot of high-quality shots in the paint.
Yeah, their passing has been terrific, too, Clark. We're seeing a lot of assists, really moving, a lot of flow offensively. I like what I see.
The shot's good for Mr. Moves.
And after that last game, Clark, I'm not surprised to see him so hot. He's got it rolling right now.
Outside, Green. Here's Jordan. Pulled the shot a little left, but the bounce goes his way. 2 minutes now played in the second quarter. Jacks up a 3, and the 3 is knocked down. Deep ball good, and a nice shot for Mr. Moves.
And at the offensive end, he's done about as much as they could have hoped for today.
Into Jordan, and out of bounds is Chicago gains possession. Well, we've had some big guys in the NBA this season that were not afraid to let it fly from deep, and here were the best among them. You take a look at Patterson, second in the league, extremely accurate from beyond the arc.
It's amazing these days. There's just so many good outside shooting big men. That didn't used to be the case in the NBA, but now the floor is spread all over the place because you've got so many big-time shooters at that 4 and 5 spot.
Yeah, you make a good point there, Steve. Big guys shooting the ball well. It's part and parcel of the game now. You go back a generation, there were only a fraction of big men who could knock down outside shots like we're seeing currently.
All right, everyone relax. Run your sets, attack the rim, crash the boards on both ends, and we'll be fine. Come on now, let's get after it.
Here in the second quarter, we've played a little over 2.5 minutes now. Jordan dishes to Patterson. Pass to Gardner. Outside, Green. 6 on the shot clock. There's the triple. Another shot. Jordan kicks to Patterson. Back to Jordan. Tries again. And the layup is up and in. Jordan's got 4 points this quarter.
Those are the kind of nice inside looks they've gotten in the first half here.
And I think they should really continue to work it down low. That's really going to free up the rest of their offense.
The Raptors making a switch here. With a step back. And the shot no good. A bit short.
Really high quality shot there. Just a little off with his release.
That miss right there will definitely leave him shaking his head.
Back to Patterson. He feeds it to Green. Knocked away. In transition, here come the Bulls. Drops in the breakaway layup. 16 points for Mr. Moves. Clark, the coach, was really passionate in that last huddle, trying to do everything he can to get his message across.
You know, and I'm not sure what he wanted exactly, but he did it with enough fire that I'm guessing he's not going to be happy with any lapse in execution. I mean, he made his point pretty clear.
Patterson, that's good.
That is not enough coverage. Got to do better than that defensively. Basically no coverage. I mean, defense did not look very good there.
And good on the basket. Book it. 19 points for Mr. Moves.
The more touches he gets, the more this lead will grow. He has just been unconscious this quarter.
There's the pass to Gardner. 1:32 left to play in the first half. Jordan, the pass to Gardner. And it's good. Assisting on the play was Jordan. He has 6.
Boy, they keep hammering away at him inside, forcing that ball into the paint. Smash mouth basketball.
Yeah, it's a strategy that has served them well in this opening half, Clark.
And the shot is good, dropping in off the front of the rim. Butler's got his second bucket tonight.
The defense playing way too soft there, guys. He's just getting right to the rim.
Jordan kicks to Patterson. Here's Gallardo. Here's Jordan. And the rebound paying off as they pick up 2 on the second chance bucket right there.
It was a slow start for him, but he started to take off since we hit the second quarter, guys.
Inside, and it's out of bounds. The Raptors will take it the other way.
I tell you what, that's just a major unforced error right there, guy.
Dialed in from long range. I like it.
And we're through 2 here and a good one. Bulls lead by 1. And we'll be back right after halftime to get the third quarter underway.